Hi, I'm Sarah, I'm back again, and this is my first introduction into how we went about filming the project for STEPUP Taranaki. You will see from the first photo that appears, it's the one that actually kicked the whole project off. The whole process was long and arduous. This is just the beginning. There were 20 scenes. I'm going to talk you all through, which will be broken down to the best of my abilities, given the technology that I have. But yeah, the first introduction into what we did and how we went about it. I will give you a little update in the background here of what actually happened. Once I appeared in the newspaper, I got contacted by one of the primes, and at the time the movie Transformers was out. So when I got this email through and it says, "Hi, I'm the niece of the great Dalvanius," Dalvanius Prime, I actually thought I was being spammed by someone, because obviously I didn't even know anything about Dalvanius. Obviously I learnt a lot. That was my lesson learnt there, and we went on to do great things. But yeah, I thought I'd been contacted by one of the Transformers. So I'll leave it with you. I've talked my way through it and all the pictures to give you a bit of a background, but it shows the sheer volume of the people and the cultural closeness that Taranaki has, how we all work together as one huge team, not some small team, but a huge team. It was all about the people of the region and how much they loved it and how much they loved the song. So hope you enjoy it. So this is the photo that was actually in the newspaper that led to us kicking off STEPUP and our grand launch. The first place I headed down to was the Patea Maori Club, where I had all my training. I had to learn a lot about the Maori culture because I didn't know much. And Stephen now, even the way I pronounce stuff, I apologise. I'm British. I've never learnt the language. I know I should, but I haven't done it yet. So maybe that's on a to-do list somewhere. The team at STEPUP had already decided and voted upon the fact that we wanted to support Taranaki Young People's Trust, and they help disadvantaged youth. So that's where the vote went on the board there. At the same time, we also asked the Patea Maori Club what charity they'd support, and they decided that they would go and support, or wanted to support, hospice. So throughout the whole project, we had the two charities we were always working behind the scenes. One was obviously with the youth. I love the youth. The youth keep you young. I wish I knew as much as these youngsters do, because they should have run the project. I gotta say, when I see the photos, I get tears in my eyes because this is actually quite cool. So we had the youth covered, and then we had from that to the old age side, which was the hospice. The Patea Maori Club were an interesting bunch of individuals. They were absolutely wonderful to work with, and they supported the whole project all the way through. They taught me a lot. I learned a lot about things like you do not negotiate with the Maoris unless you've got kai. Yeah, and kai, that is one word I do know, food. You've got to always have a good feed if you're going to get things done. So part of the project you'll see coming up here in a little while, we've actually got the food delivery van for them for this filming day. So this filming here was actually filmed, it was like the end scene once we'd actually done all of the filming. Not all of the filming, but it was towards the end, where we'd actually got the Bowl of Brooklands, which is in our local park. It's pretty outstanding in all fairness. But it was the final big push through the newspapers and everything to get people to turn up and actually participate we were all looking a bit tired because it is towards the end of the project, and we were all lagging a bit, I would say. But this is them on the stage at the Bowl of Brooklands. That's Carolyn there, the choreographer. She coordinated all of this. So we had 2 stages we were working on this day. We had the main one to film them, and then we had another, like a B stage. There's some vans. Another B stage that we went down and we filmed the final scene, mainly because the crowds, we thought, again, it's all down to numbers, so it's what would make the video look bigger or packed a bit more. So we, because that's a huge stage area, and we hadn't got quite the WOMAD numbers that you will see coming up later in this video. The vans there was a funny story, because obviously they aren't the smallest race, some of them. So the vans, I remember this day, because on this day we actually had that they were all in the van and they drove down, and it had rained heavily the night before. And because of the rain and how much it had rained, oh, how many times can I say the word rain? Because we'd actually, the ground was so wet, get it right, Sarah. Because the ground was so wet, they actually ditched the van, so they had to all climb out of the van and then help push the van out of the mud. So again, another comical part of the filming that most people missed, but it actually happened. But it was part of what went on that day. But they're all, again, good humour all the way through. So this part is where all of the, well, it's open to the public as well. So we had people from the public walking through. There's some kai. Here's the kai. I'll tell you about the kai, actually. I'll just interrupt this. The kai was actually made by the local polytechnic. There you go, there's the chefs. And again, because we got no money, they offered to feed the club for us, and they had prepared all of this food for us and delivered it on the day. This is actually going towards the end on where we did the showdown. So before we went out onto national television, part of what we wanted to do is we wanted to show it to the people of New Plymouth first, or the people of Taranaki. So everyone had the opportunity to come and see on the big screen before we went live on TV. If they'd been in the video, they could actually come back and watch it before it went live on telly, which was that was probably part of my thing. I'd got this whole thing about, no, people need to see it first, and they did. We had this was a huge day, and what you're seeing here is all of the troops and dancing troops. It was a big day, but you've got all of the cultural blends that we wanted to get in, because it was never about who was black, who was white. It was always about the people. So part of our big push for all of it was everyone's welcome, everyone. So you'll see here a lot of the younger girls who are part of a Kappa Haka group, and you'll see some of the boys in a minute. There you go, there's one. These are from like New Plymouth Girls High and Boys High. They were actually key for integrating again, so that we're all just one big family on the day. Oh God, I think I'm going to cry. What they had done is they'd actually arranged to do performances for us, for all of the people that had turned up. This is filmed at the racecourse in New Plymouth, because obviously it got the seating area for people turning up so they could sit down and watch. And we did have the big screen there that was also donated, paid for by someone else, again, so that we could share it with everyone. Yeah, these are all the performances from all of the people that, and many of them had actually been in the actual video as well. So this was part of the celebration side of it, of like, God, I can't believe it, we've made it to the end. Big celebration for all of the people that had been involved, and that included all of the the 30 volunteers we had. There you go. Sorry, that's just getting the kids involved. I love that one. That was a scene where we did a running man for the kids. Again, this is just to introduce the cultural side of it and how we embraced it all the way through. Just to close off, after having watched myself on the video, obviously, yeah, my blink rate will get better. I realise that obviously I was blinking a bit much there at the front of the video.